We've had a week of riders playing snakes and ladders at the Vuelta, but as the peloton moves across the Spanish playing board, we'll let you know who's up and who's down this week at the Tour of Spain. Elsewhere, France is getting excited, and with reason too, it seems. Plus, with teammates openly wondering where he is, will João Ayuso go or not? Hello, and welcome to the Gruppetto. We left the Vuelta A Espana in Italy, with borders still to be crossed. By the end of the opening block of racing, the final Grand Tour of the season would have visited 4 different countries. And next on the menu for Tuesday's Stage 4 was France. A largely uneventful crossing of the Alps occurred in the first half of a day that began in northwest Italy's Susa Valley. With a breakaway brought back in good time, a tricky run into a bunch sprint ensued. Philipsen is ready to go, sits on the wheel, he's being led out, but Vernon's there on his birthday as well. Not far away is Turner, Vernon trying to go, he waits, they hesitate, up the road, 7:05, 175 to go, it's now Philipsen at the front, but look at Turner, Turner's there, he's challenging, he might beat them, he has beat them, oh my word! As well as a first Grand Tour stage for Turner, the other story of the day was that David Gaudu finished the 8 places required in front of Jonas Vingegaard to take the race lead and the red jersey that comes with it. With the new tunic on his back, the Frenchman stepped onto the plane with the rest of the bunch and headed to Spain, where a team time trial awaited. One of the most important days of this year's race, a first test against the clock. Welcome to Catalonia. Welcome to Figueras. Today I think that we are going to go supersonic on the roads.
They are absolutely flying. Monster performance then, 18 seconds quicker.
Ineos Grenadiers won't be taking victory here today. Ayuso is dreaming of the red jersey, but the gaps are opening up. It has been an electric performance from UAE. Not too many great differences in the GC after the opening test against the clock, but could the mountains force some more separation? Vingegaard began stage 6 back in the jersey and with destination Andorra.
I think if they can hold this gap until the foot of the Cat 2 climb with 25 kilometres to go, one of them can win.
You know, I know these roads pretty well. I'm from just down the hill. Comella is my favourite climb in all of Andorra.
Despite the suffering, it's looking like a glorious day of suffering for João. This is second man on the road, and currently red jersey elect Torstein Træen.
2 days ago I was talking to my other Norwegian friend. I was talking about the Norwegian GC, and he said, "You're a loser." And then I said, "Yeah, when I'm in the red jersey after Andorra stage, I don't think you call me loser anymore."
João, victorious again at the Vuelta A Espana.
To be able to win in front of my son with my wife, it's unbelievable.
He was fighting for his very life against illness a couple of years ago. He will be just the 3rd man from his nation to pull on the red jersey. What a story for Torstein Træen, having overcome a cancer diagnosis 3 years ago and a shocking concussion earlier this season. More than 300 stages ridden in his career, and for the first time a leader's jersey on his back, and it was in a Grand Tour too. A handsome enough lead to hang on for a few days, one would imagine. Unable to hang on and making headlines for the wrong reasons though, João Ayuso's huge time loss meant that João Almeida was the undisputed UAE Team Emirates leader. The Spaniard though was by no means out of the race. The riders are back in Spanish territory, taking on the longest climb of this Vuelta, 24.9 kilometers long.
There is obviously so many good GC guys. In the last time you just have to see how good you actually are. Yeah?
João Ayuso moves from the head of the race, but he's not yet won a Vuelta stage. Today could be the day. Could it be a UAE hat-trick? João Almeida has launched his move, and this is João Almeida on the move, trying to take it to Jonas Vingegaard. João Ayuso will do what he does best, and he will win. The following day, sleepy stage to Zaragoza awoke as the riders pulled back the three-man break and navigated the finishing circuit. At the end of it, Jasper Philipsen proved to be the strongest in a messy blanket finish. So messy that the commissars decided to relegate second-place Elia Viviani and not too far behind him, Brian Kokau, handing out yellow cards in the process. Here's Adam to explain what he thought happened.
In this situation here, I think you have to stick to the line that you start sprinting on, and it's very obvious here that Viviani starts drifting to the left. But my point would be is who has he impeded? Now, for me, yes, he's not stuck to the rules. Philipsen's coming on the left-hand side, but as we said yesterday, Plancart here looks to the left, and then he gets out of the way of his sprinter to give him room. He's also in the same position to hold his line straight and to not impede anyone. So I'm not going to say started it, but he helped his teammate. But if you watch what he does here, he goes right to left, and then this Cofidis rider has to slam on the brakes. As we saw from that there, if we just go back, there's enough space, I think. I think, you know, the rules are the rules, and you do have to stick to them. But if no one's being impeded by anything, I just think, he shouldn't have been relegated in my eyes.
So to the final stage of the opening block of Vuelta racing. A visit to the ski station at Val d'Escaray, high up in the mountains in the Rioja region. Our very own Sean Kelly won there in 1988 on the way to his vintage Tour of Spain success. It's too early in this race to harvest the 2025 GC grapes, but this was a chance to see how far exactly they're off ripening.
Wow, what a picture that was behind, eh? An absolute cracker, just like the stage that was won in Val d'Escaray by Sean Vuelta 1988 Kelly.
I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be impossible for the break to stay clear. To be honest, I don't think that there's enough firepower up the front to hold off a chasing bunch.
This is Visma Lease bike. Try to shock, try to surprise. It's getting dangerous now for the red jersey. It's a glorious victory in Val d'Escaray for the Danish superstar. Træen held on to the rest day with a 37-second advantage. Stage winner and second-placed overall Vingegaard was naturally delighted. Pidcock too, whereas Almeida reflected on the afternoon by sending a message.
I could see they were on the limit, so they couldn't do a little much. I missed a little bit maybe my teammates today. Nobody was with me in the end, so yeah, it is what it is.
Now I wonder who he means, eh? Just like at the Giro D'Italia, there is a common denominator, and plenty of pundits, both in Spain and elsewhere on Sunday evening, were asking why João Ayuso didn't continue to help João Almeida. Should he? Maybe the question is, could he? Were the legs there after winning the stage the other day? Well, we'd love to know what you think as to the UAE Team Emirates strategy. There's a certain sense of déjà vu with the Giro d'Italia, albeit with one or two different protagonists. One of them, of course, is the same. Ayuso is now rumoured to be heading to Lidl-Trek. No confirmation on that front yet. Is that the right team for him, if indeed he does leave? Let us know what you think in the comments section below this video. So coming up this week on the Vuelta, what do we have? Well, a Basque Country stage, which is always up and down. Very similar to the one we saw at the beginning of the Tour de France a couple of years ago, where we had the Yates twins battling out for a stage win and a yellow jersey. Angliru, well, that is the big headline of the week, isn't it? One of the hardest mountains in the whole of professional cycling. And in the Asturian mountain paradise, it's followed 24 hours later by another exceptionally difficult finish up at La Farrapona. After that, the race will move on to Galicia. Then the weekend, there are almost 20,000 metres to be climbed over the next 6 days of racing. And you can catch it all with us here on TNT Sports and Discovery+.
Grey skies greeted most of the rest of the world's peloton in Brittany for the one-day races around Pleuy. By the end of the 165-kilometre race, Marianne Vos was ahead in the sprint against compatriot Elina Janssen. But it was another Dutch star who would pit them both to the line, Misha Bredevold winning and becoming somewhat of a specialist here. The SD Works star, the first rider ever to win 3 editions in a row. On Sunday, the men lined up for the final French World Tour race of the season, which ended in a big bunch sprint from a group of over 60 riders.
It's Team Visma, Lisa bike on the front. Olaf Koy has survived all of these climbs. Can he last all the way to the line? He's being challenged now by Arnaud Ali of Lotto. Has he got the victory? Yes. Celebration for Lotto, and he has done it.
Also in France this week, the Tour de l'Avenir, where the Frenchman Paul Sixas became the under-23 race's youngest ever winner. He's just 18, and it's the only race in the category that he'll ever ride. The Decathlon Age d'Azur rider now heads back to the pros after picking up the prestigious title, but one that doesn't always translate to senior success. French fans will be excited that the next big talent holds the same passport as they do. Expect to see him make his monument debut in Lombardy in a few weeks, before a winter that will have everybody wondering as to his 2026 calendar.
So that takes care of the racing, but what about off the bike? Here's this week's quick-fire roundup of confirmed transfers.
Quinten Hermans is the latest rider to join the revolution at Q36.5. Another Belgian rider with roots in cyclocross is also on the move. Gianni Vermeers swapping Alpecin de Koning for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. Stefan Kung and Luca Mozzato will move to Tudor. Paul Michel joins Bahrain Victorious. There's Filippo Fiorelli to Visma Lease bike in a rather left-field move. Loes Addergist goes to Lidl Trek, with Matthias Norsgaard and Max Walscheid joining the men's programme. And finally, two-time reigning German champion Franziska Koch will wear the FDJ Suez colours next season.
So we've made it to the end of another Gruppetto, and just about in the time cut, I think, as well. 2 more weeks to go on the Vuelta A Espana. You can join us each and every day. TNT Sports and Discovery Plus for that. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, TNT Sports Cycling, for all the latest with the interviews, short highlights, and we'll also be here, as well as on the telly, on the Gruppetto every Monday too. This week, though, marks another special week in British racing. It is the Tour of Britain and an extra special edition. Not just Remco Evenepoel turning up to race, but it's the final professional race for Tour de France winner, Olympic superstar, just about everything in the game, Geraint Thomas. He rides his final pro race at home in Wales as well. You can catch that each and every day across our platforms as well. Enjoy the racing this week. We'll see you next week. Nos vemos la semana que viene. Adiós.